Oh, draft season is finally nearly upon us. And look, I've been put in the most awkward situation ever. I have to defend the honor of Aidan Hutchinson, a Michigan great, a Heisman finalist, whatever you think of it. I got to be honest with my audience. This is not a Michigan State show. I'm a Michigan State Spartan, a Michigan State fan, but it's not a all Michigan State rah rah goo goo gaga show. So we're going to be honest with everything. And I'm also begrudgingly a Lions fan. The stuff going on with Aidan Hutchinson right now, it's like the constant cycle of the draft where, up, down, even though nothing else has happened, nothing new has happened. There's this ongoing uh, take storyline. Narrative is an overused term, but whatever you want to call it. It's not bashing Aidan Hutchinson, but it's like this minimization on a basis that I would argue is false. The biggest proponent of this sort of take, the biggest advocate for this take that, yeah, Aiden's okay, he's a pretty good player, is coming from the guy who I think happens to be the most talented sports radio host in Detroit sports history. But I think he's got this one wrong. Mike Valenti, in tandem with Rico Beard on 97.1, has been banging this drum for 3 months that Aidan Hutchinson is, he's an all right player, but low ceiling, like low floor, low ceiling guy. So I could have pulled a million clips, but this was from today. His take on Aidan Hutchinson and why the Lions should pass on him if he is in fact available at pick number 2.
No one used potential Hall of Famer. No one used the words game changer.
That's right.
It was just a bunch of
also, could someone
synonyms for good.
Someone do me a favor too? Is if you can go out and find someone comparing Aidan to Chase Young, if you can find someone comparing Aidan to Joey Bosa.
But no, there is the Bosa because of his what he did at the combine. Look at his numbers compared to what the Bosa brothers did.
Right. From a projection standpoint, who's willing to say he's as good of a prospect as those guys? I haven't seen that.
Look, I mean, I don't know if you want to take my word for it. We're going to dip our toe into the evidence of this. But please just take my word for it. Save yourself the time. The majority of elite pass rushers, whether you want to talk about the best 3 or even best 5, wherever you want to make that cutoff, came in with very similar profiles as Aidan Hutchinson. And you can go right down the list. We pulled a couple of them. We'll start with one great example, although past his prime now. This is the pre-draft scouting report on J.J. Watt, one of the best pass rushers of all time. Certainly been beset by injuries. Some of the counting stats might not be there, but he's objectively one of the best ever. And look, we're not going to read it verbatim, but this is before the draft. Hardworking, intelligent, relentless, uses his hands well. I mean, this sounds a little bit eerily similar, perhaps, to the Aidan Hutchinson scouting report. Watt will give you everything he's got. This just reeks of the Aidan Hutchinson scouting report. We could have flipped the pictures and had you fooled. It's the same type of stuff. Motor, he'll get after you. That was the perception of J.J. Watt, who, by the way, in his respective draft went at pick 11. Moving on, interior lineman, fair, not an edge, but still the best player in the league right now, arguably, certainly the best defensive player, Aaron Donald. His pre-draft scouting report, NFL.com, same source. Short, scrappy, instinctive, highly productive. He doesn't look the part, but he inspires confidence. The type that you root for, quickness, motor. I mean, a rotational 3 technique. Rotational, like he's going to be a rotational lineman. Aaron Donald went 13th overall in his respective draft. Some people thought he'd go a little higher. Some people thought he wouldn't go that high. But he wasn't, before the draft, considered this elite. Oh, you have to take Aaron Donald. There's a reason why he was available at pick 13. Going to another example, let's stay in the Watt family bloodline here. This is the same source, NFL.com scouting report before that draft. Long-limbed effort rusher who posted impressive numbers against the run. He's a tireless worker. He pursues from snap to whistle. This is all sort of laying out in the same way as Aidan Hutchinson. He's a plus run defender. He can get to the quarterback with plus handwork and relentless effort. These are all, especially the Watt guys, extremely similar scouting reports. Effort, motor, strong technically, some weaknesses. Not one word in any of those guys' reports, Donald, Watt, was anything about transcendent, all-time talent. Julius Peppers 2.0, which that would have been sort of the equivalent, especially for J.J. Watt, like that elite second overall. Those comparisons weren't there. And I didn't nitpick the source. If those comparisons were there, they wouldn't have been available at pick 11, pick 13, and 30th overall, respectively, for TJ Watt. It's an outlier. What Valenti's saying is Hutchinson's not going to be special. Look at the reports. You can't find anybody saying he's that guy. You can't find a single source, a scouting report that thinks he's going to be that special. The vast majority of the best pass rushers in the last 20 years, my lifetime really following this stuff, have not had that type of projection, but one in fact did. Now some do and some hit it. But one key one that did was Jadeveon Clowney. Everyone loved that guy. Talk about a guy with, I guess, some Michigan ties for the viral purposes of it. A physical specimen with a rare size and speed combination, one of the most unique talents in the draft, and could easily be a double-digit sack producer in the pros from either end, is every bit worthy of the first overall pick. Will immediately upgrade a defensive line and improve the production of those around him. Again, NFL.com scouting report. All the same scouting basis. It's all the same sourcing. Clowney fits exactly what Valenti wishes Hutchinson did. And again, those were just examples. I'm not even saying that that's everybody. Jared Allen was a 4th round pick. It was the same. It was like a poor man's Hutchinson scouting report. Relentless motor, not a special athlete. It's all the same stuff. So this idea that look around, Hutchinson doesn't have a single person saying he's going to be Reggie White. I don't want him. He can't be special. People that actually come in with that projection and match it, those are the exceptions. For every one guy, Julius Peppers is going to be great, and then he ends up great. There's 10 guys like Donald, Watt, to a more extreme degree down the line, Jared Allen. There's 10 of those guys that, pretty good, technical, relentless motor, that end up being 15 sack guys for half a decade or more. I just don't buy this scouting report. I think it's become so anti-Hutchinson. Not that they think he stinks, because to be fair, both those guys have said they think he'll be a productive NFL player. But if you're going to pass on a guy based on not enough people think he's going to be transcendent, I suggest you look at the evidence. Look at the sack leaders for the last 15, 20 years. Again, for every one of those sort of freak Myles Garrett types, there's 8, 9, 10 of the Watt brothers. Hutchinson seems to fit the profile of guys that work. I think he's going to be a top 2, top 3 sack guy? Maybe not. Do I think he'll be a top 10 sack guy? Yeah, I really do. So I think the Lions should take Aidan Hutchinson. All the gambling markets suggest that that's where this is headed. I think it would be foolish to talk yourself out of this. Everything I said about this draft has been centered on him not being there. If you believe the betting markets, if you believe Todd McShay, Trayvon Walker's going number 1. Still a few days away. That could change. It has changed before. Mac Jones was bouncing all over the place. Justin Fields was bouncing all over the place in the odds market leading up to that draft last year. But right now, Trayvon Walker is the prohibitive favorite to go number 1, which means Aidan Hutchinson is available, and he's the obvious pick. He's the borderline consensus number 1 prospect. So if your entire basis, and this isn't even just picking on Valenti and Rico, that's been the common knock. Oh, I don't know if he can be special. Well, pardon me. Just let the Spartans sit here and tell you, Hutchinson, if he's a pretty good bet, which everyone seems to agree is a pretty good bet to sack 9, 10, 11 quarterbacks a year, he's going to pile up, close to double-digit sacks, and that's this guy's floor. I'll take it. Sign me up. Valenti says the Lions are going to be cowardly by taking this. They should take a big swing. Normally, I would agree. Hutchinson's the best guy. Actually, counterintuitively to what Valenti's saying, not taking Aidan Hutchinson would be the Lions thing. Overthinking this would be the Lions thing. You're picking number 2. If the number 1 guy falls to you at number 2 in a position of clear need, biggest need, other than quarterback, which they're clearly passing on, you better take them. I hope they do. Is what it is. Clear, obvious choice. Aidan Hutchinson, the Lions got to do the right thing if he's there. That's it. We'll see you guys. A lot more ahead. Thanks.